So I hope that you guys can bear with us. And then after that, there won't be any more ads up front. And we'll have at most 3 ads in the podcast itself, which is how a lot of podcasts that I admire do it, like Accidental Tech Podcast and the talk show with Jean Gruber. But I don't like having ads up front, but that's how it's going to be for the next few episodes. But I want to say, I'm grateful for our sponsors, and I do hope you check them out. And we only pick sponsors that we actually use and like their products and are proud to recommend to you guys.
Absolutely.
And also, Karen and I put hundreds and hundreds, literally, of hours into this. And this is our way of getting something back for our time and at the same time keep it all free for you. So we hope you can understand that.
Bear with us.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I went to Chicago for Heroes and Villains Fan Fest this week, another con, and I was in the hotel bathroom. And can you guess which of our sponsors' products I was using while I was in there?
Club W?
It could have been Club W. Oh, that's so funny. That's the first one.
Were you in a bathroom
I was
stall
going to make a
swigging
joke
on
about
wine?
that, but yeah, I drank 3 bottles all at once. No, it could have very well been texture, though.
But I'm thinking that it was probably Harry.
You're right. You made my joke for me. So when I go to these cons, I always clean up my beard a little bit before I go out to do panels. I want to look sharp, and I'm really happy to do it with my beautiful Harry's razor. I used to pay a lot more before I found out about Harry's, and I just didn't like the razors as much, but these are really high quality. They're German engineered blades. They give you a really comfortable shave, and they're half the price of the leading brands and also shipped to your door. So it's really convenient. And you can get a Harry starter set, which is a razor, moisturizing shave cream, and 3 blades for just $15, which is a great deal. And you can even get it for a little bit less. They'll give you $5 off your first order with promo code DEADCAST. So go to harrys.com right now for that deal. That's HARRYS.com and enter code DEADCAST at checkout.
They make great presents.
Yeah, that too. And then second, from the company that brought you some great games, Grand Theft Auto, Borderlands, BioShock, Red Dead Redemption, and WWE 2K16, comes this whole new comic book universe, the Double Take universe. So they have 10 comic books out that are all take place in the world of the Night of the Living Dead, the 1968 cult classic.
Awesome.
And then they start out from there, but they let their imaginations run wild with it in all these different directions. And the story will just expand and get crazier and crazier as time goes on. So as a listener of this podcast, you can read all 10 of the first and second issues for free at doubletakeuniverse.com. Or if you'd rather have a nice paper comic in your hands with actual pages, you can binge read all those by picking up the first and second issue super packs of all 10 titles for only about $20 at your local comic shop at Barnes & Noble stores, GoHastings.com, or MidtownComics.com. So $20 for 20 comics.
Pretty
That's a good
sweet deal.
Yeah, that's like $5 a comic, right? It's really, really good.
Wait, what?
Something around there. But you can also read them free again, just by going to doubletakeuniverse.com. All right, let's get into the heart of the matter.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, it's Deadcast Top 5. It's our top 5 highlights for Season 6, Episode 13, The Same Boat.
The same boat, my friend.
Where lots of women kick ass.
It's very true. Sometimes each other's asses, sometimes zombie asses.
Yeah, is it a statement of womankind if you're like, yes, women are killing each other?
Yeah, that's kind
progress.
of a weird sort of feminism, sure.
What did you think of it?
I loved it. I thought it was a great episode. Good. I loved that it felt like a play. It was sort of all in one room, or not all in one room, but it was often in one location. And it felt really theatrical, but it was also a freaking brutal episode. And I asked my coworker, Justin, I'm like, hey, Justin, what'd you think? And he said, all of my heroes are turning into monsters. And I'm like, yeah, I know, buddy.
Maggie, no. I think probably Maggie's why.
She was vicious.
She was. But, I've been critical of a needed violence, but I thought everything they did was just fine. They've been kidnapped. You're going to kill your way out of there. I'm okay with that.
Well, let's get into it because I have some thoughts on that very thing.
I just want to say what I thought really quick is I thought it was I was getting impatient. I thought it was a bit slow, and I think that's in part because I wasn't sure what they were waiting for. And then the second time through, I tried to kind of piece together what was going on, but I was sort of felt like I was waiting for something to happen a little bit, and then stuff did started to happen, and there was definitely some interesting things to chew on in there, but I felt like I was sort of waiting for part of it. So I liked it, especially second time through, but I didn't like it as much as everybody else seemed to, because our listeners seemed to really love it too, and so did you, and I'm glad you guys did. But anyway, okay, what's your number 5?
All right, so my number 5 is that this was such a delightful women-centric episode, and I say that because not because I just want to see women on the screen, although I love that, but it was so interesting because it's kind of rare, especially in something that's a thriller kind of show like this. It was wonderful. It was a great mix of women, so I love that there were similar types, but they were just on different points, sort of on the continuum.
Different ages and. Do you think they deliberately planned this to come out right around International Women's Day? Because that just happened.
Really? Yeah. That's hilarious.
That's a big holiday. Did you know that? Maybe not so much in the U.S., but in Russia, they actually take it off.
Wow. What day was International Women's Day? Was it Sunday or Monday?
I don't know. I don't think it was Sunday. I think it was a few days before that.
Wow. No.
Anyway, no, you don't think so? I mean, I
don't think so.
They had their Valentine's episode recently.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, okay, yes, they did time that. So bravo, AMC. I love that Maggie and Carol rescued themselves. They didn't, nobody rescued them. They rescued themselves. I
love that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And they not only did they kill their captors, but they even killed some of the saviors coming over to help, by burning them alive. So
that was good because the women were the most formidable characters in the show on both sides.
Yeah.
But they didn't only have to kill women. They had to kill some men too.
Yes, they did. Yeah. And they sure did kill them. They crushed them good.
They burned them all up.
That
was an amazing scene too. It was so messed up.
It was totally messed up.
But
yeah,
it was great. My sadistic side. I mean, it was really original, I guess. I don't know if I've ever quite seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's pretty much mine. I have written here number 5, women kicking ass. I kind of figured early on, actually, because this woman Alicia Witt, she plays Paula. I know she's got some fans. I've heard more than one person say, "Oh, I love her."
Yes.
And so I wondered, is she going to be a new regular? But as this episode went on, not very far into it, I thought, no, I think everyone's going to die here. I just had a feeling. Yeah. And I thought maybe even Maggie or Carol might too.
I thought so too. I was certain they were both goners.
Really? Both of them?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think both. I thought it would be one or the other. Wow, if both of them were goners, that would have been quite a blow. So, but go ahead.
Yet again, our quote-unquote heroes have escaped unscathed in this onslaught onto the sanctuary. So I don't think their luck's going to hold, but that's just my thought.
No, it's just the clock's ticking.
Yeah. They're pissing somebody off.
Yeah, karma.
And they're going to piss them off hard. So we'll see.
But I want to talk more about the women. So we had Carol and Maggie. We had Paula, who was the boss.
Yep.
We had Molly, what they called her Malls. That was the smoker woman.
Hairband.
And then I don't know if they said her name, but I looked it up on IMDb. Michelle was the other one.
Yeah. I think they called her Shell.
Oh, yeah, Shell. And then there was Donnie, the guy who was totally
useless,
lame,
yeah,
and reactive, and to give him some break, he was shot in the arm, so
right. And according to Paula, he was in pain, and men can't take pain.
well, which I liked, because I think women probably can handle pain better than men.
It's for
that
childbirth.
whole childbirth thing and all. I kind of liked Malls. I wouldn't expect to like a woman like that, because she's sort of acerbic, but there's something about her that I dug.
Did she remind you a little bit of the woman in The Leftovers, who who was
the leader of the
yes,
but yes, she did. I didn't think about that, but now that you mention it,
she even looked like her.
Yeah,
it was weird,
and she had a similar. She was a little more easygoing though, but see, I liked when she bent over to Carol when Carol was hyperventilating, and said, "Honey, you need to take some yoga breaths and calm your ass down." She started out kind of nice,
Yeah.
That was cute.
Here, I've got a podcast you can listen to.
We talked about Maggie. I liked, Paula said, "You must be some kind of stupid to get knocked up." And then Maggie went into that whole thing about when was it ever smart to get knocked up?
Right.
And at first I thought she meant it's just dumb to get pregnant, but she was talking about historically women would die in childbirth, and before civilization, you always thought the world was going to end, like in caveman times and stuff.
Yeah.
So she's being consistent, because I think it was like 3 seasons ago in the prison when she decided that she doesn't want to just survive, but she wants to live. And she still got that going on. And I liked that Paula said children were bite-sized snacks for the dead.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Finger food.
But this whole thing between Michelle and Maggie was really interesting. I couldn't quite figure it out, because Michelle's the one who said put the cigarette out, right, to protect the baby. I think she did at one point.
Yes.
She said put it out.
Yes.
And Malls was like, whatever. But and I think she lost her baby.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like, because she said I was going to name the baby Frankie.
Right.
After her dad. And
so it seemed like she might have had some sympathy.
Yeah.
Sympathy, as Elmer Fudd, or what's his name? Sylvester the cat would say. But then she sliced her belly later on and seemed to have kind of a smug look on her face.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a shift.
It was. But that's, at that point, she knew her life was in mortal peril, and she was pissed at Maggie. Maybe she was pissed at Maggie for... Maybe she really thought that a hostage swap was going to happen. I wonder if anyone actually thought that the hostage swap would happen.
I know. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe that was... maybe no one ever bought that.
Right. Nobody, huh?
Maybe.
Not Rick, not Carol, nobody. The last thing I wanted to say just about sort of the womenness of all of this is, or the focus on women. I wonder if, obviously the title, The Same Boat, it relates to Carol and Paula having some parallels going on. Mm-hmm. But I also wondered if maybe it was like how men and women are in the same boat in this world, i.e. you can't, the women have to face the same brutality as the men. They have to be just as strong and tough. I don't know. Yeah,
they're all in the same boat.
Yeah. Equal opportunity, ass kicking. Even
kids have to step it up.
Right.
They don't even really get to have a childhood.
It's sad. Okay, your turn.
All right. Mine number 4 was Carol. I love that her character continues to evolve, and it's so interesting to watch. This whole season has been fascinating. We've watched the evolution from her being this mousy little beaten up housewife to, she's a warrior, and she's even a ruthless killer, hello, Karen and David. But her arc now has her kind of coming back more towards Morgan's way of thinking. And so much so that I think that her tears and her hyperventilation was coming from partly a real place. I mean, it was useful. The hyperventilation got the gag out of her mouth and out of Maggie's mouth, come to think of it. And the crucifix that she used, I mean, she did have belief before, and maybe she's coming back to that too. And she certainly, yeah, she did.
I mean, she said she did. But have we seen that before?
Oh, I took her on her word. She might have prayed at the very, very beginning. She might have,
but I
can't remember that.
Yeah, she could have just been completely lying about that.
She could have been. And her hyperventilation might have been an act, but I honestly think that it was coming from a very real place too. You know, it was useful, and maybe she was drawing on this place inside of her that's freaking out over being in this situation yet again, that she knows that she's going to have to kill them. And I loved that, you know, the captors assume that she's this mousy little thing, and God, they're so wrong. I mean, her kill count now is at at least 20. I mean, depending on how you count it. And she did try to not up her kill count. You know, 2 times in the episode, she could have killed the people right away, and she didn't want to. You know, Donnie, for example, she knew she even told Maggie, I could have killed him, but I decided not to. And then she was thinking maybe that was all wrong, because if I had just killed Donnie at the very beginning, we could have escaped the captors. We would never have been caught, and this never would have happened.
Yeah, she was kind of beating herself up over it, but that just shows that she is more hesitant to kill now than she has been recently.
Yep.
And I think, that seeing Paula talk about how she stopped caring so long ago and now she's a stronger person because of it is freaking Carol out. And
yes.
she's already shown signs that maybe it's just getting to be too much being this way.
Yeah.
Like she was siding with Morgan a little bit last time.
Yep.
And even though he wasn't around to hear it, because she probably never would have said that to him directly,
right.
But admitted that maybe he was right. But she told somebody else to lay off of him. But I think she's obviously now, it's starting to get to her, and she's afraid of what she's becoming and of what she will have to do.
Yep.
But it's not black or white, because she was also beating herself up for not being brutal enough.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure they're all torn about this new way of being. I mean, do you have to become a monster in this Robert Kirkman dystopia? And it sounds like you kind of do. Those are the rules that he's this is the construct he's come up with.
And I was just going to say, I think it would be really interesting if one of the characters did get to a place where they sort of stopped having compassion about it, because you know, I don't like to see things in terms of bad guys, good guys. I think we're all people, and just about any person you can think of under the right circumstances, you might do the same things, you know?
Absolutely.
And except for like just people who have brain chemistry problems and they're just crazy psychopaths. Most people have circumstances that led them to where they are. I guess you could debate that, but anyways, you know, you get a band of bad guys, like some of them probably would be good in other circumstances. So by the same token, all our characters, you know, they've had to go through a lot, and I was thinking, oh well, it'd be cool to see some of them start to get kind of callous about it, and then I'm like, wait a minute, what about Rick? He just he's already like that, you know.
He sure is,
to a degree. I mean, you could argue it, and he still definitely has a lot of caring for the people he loves, but if he doesn't know you, he has no problems killing you.
No problems at all. I mean, he did apologize. I think he said, sorry it's come to this.
He didn't even finish the sentence before the bullet was out.
No, and also it might have been, I think, pretty intriguing for Carol to say, hey, that's actually Primo, that's not Negan. Oh,
I know.
Right.
Well, he's just his figure of speech. Oh, sorry. Too late.
It's a weird thing. They all
Rick
say it.
thought he was being serious, right? That was Negan.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. See, that's what I this episode, there's some things I wasn't clear what
yes.
was going on. But my take on that was, that Rick thought, oh, okay, if you're Negan, then I'm just going to kill you.
Yes. I think he thought straight up that guy's Negan. And Carol could have said, no, it's just something they all say. Right. That is Primo. And by the way, you should know that he's a medic and has some, medical training. He might be handy to have around, just saying. But there it is. Anyway, it was very sweet at the end when Carol sees Daryl and he asks if she's okay, and she says no.
Yeah. And yeah, I love that because she showed some vulnerability, which is nice to see, especially when there's no danger present, right?
Right.
But also it was just sweet that he's fully supported that. Oh, come here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was lovely.
Does that make you think that she should drop Tobin immediately and go with Daryl?
They're good friends, and men and women can be excellent friends without it being romantic.
I think the same thing. I do too, but some of our listeners might not agree.
Fine. Send your email to Jason
at Karen.com. Okay, is it my turn?
Yes.
All right. Well, we just talked about stuff from pretty much all the rest of my points, but I'm trying to see if I can manage this. So my number 4 is just how Carol identifies with Paula. I think the main idea of the episode is that Carol and Paula are kind of in the same boat, but Paula's just further along.
Yep.
Like she said, I stopped counting when I hit double digits. That's when I stopped feeling bad about it. I'm still me, only stronger. And Carol doesn't want to turn into that. That's the really simple way of looking at it, but I don't think it's quite as simple as that, because in some cases I think Paul is looking at Carol, or at least her people, and going, well, okay, our people attacked you on the road and then you killed them all, so that's fair, but then you just went in and killed all the rest of our people. And I think she was genuinely thinking, that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
just like we are. And later Michelle says, you're not the good guys, you should know that.
Yes.
Which I'm not sure exactly why she said that, but it was still very interesting.
Yes. Yeah. You can make a case for them not being the good guys at this point.
Right. And some listeners, while I'm thinking of it, and even I said this, that, okay, when they were killing the people in their sleep last time and they saw the Polaroids on the wall of everybody with their heads bashed in, that's a sign that these guys were bad guys. But then I thought, well, what if Negan put those up there just to warn them what he's going to do to them if they don't stay in line?
Right. And yeah, exactly. And
I doubt that's what happened, but
they could have also misinterpreted I totally misinterpreted what the pictures were of. I thought they were just of zombies they had killed.
I think Glenn and Heath knew that they were. I don't know. I guess it was kind of hard.
I think Glenn and Heath are probably smarter than I am.
Anyways, yeah, just there was that whole theme of Carol identifying with Paula, and I also think that's one reason why Carol didn't want to kill Paula, because she felt some connection. Yeah, kinship.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because she was pretty ready to kill
there,
Michelle. As soon as Michelle sliced Maggie's stomach, she's like, oh, you're dead.
You're dead. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you don't mess with motherhood around Carol.
Yeah, that's a good point. Number 3.
Is it me again? So my number 3 is Maggie. I love how she is and how she's a little bit savage. I mean, I love that, but her choices are driving me a little bit nuts. And by the way, you can always tell when somebody's being particularly savage because they'll splash blood on the camera lens. They did that trick again. I was like, wow, twice. Wow, you guys are
I liked it though.
You like it? It's pretty cartoony. It takes me out of it for just a second. It does. I'm like,
oh, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm like, look at that. They have blood on the lens. When she kills Molly.
Yeah.
Actually.
I love that scene. And I liked when Carol was like, although I don't know, I believe Carol would really do this, but she's like, let's just get out of here. And Maggie's like, no, we have to finish it. We have to finish this now.
Right.
And I thought that was, I don't know, I thought, all right. I'm finding myself more in this episode going, yeah, get them all. Well,
I found myself thinking they're taking a big risk by doing that, because anytime they try, they almost died a couple of times after that all went down. And so I don't know. Why is Maggie on this mission in the first place? You're pregnant. You should probably not be there. They should probably have sent somebody else with them. B, when she went to kill Donnie, remember that? She, at the very beginning, Carol shoots him in the arm, and then she said, "Let's go, Maggie." And she's like, "Maggie, come on." And Maggie says, "Oh, we got to finish this. We got to kill Donnie." Or she didn't say Donnie, but she, she goes up to point the gun at his head, and that's when they got captured by the kidnappers. So it's actually Maggie's fault when we get it right down to it. And C, sorry. So Carol engineered this whole escape, and then she's like, "Okay, we should just go." And Maggie says, "We need to finish this." I mean, who says they have to finish it? At that point, it seems to me you could probably make a clean escape. You should probably take advantage of making the clean escape. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be any better because they killed those women. I think it might, in fact, be worse because they killed those women. So, just my thought.
You're bringing me around to your point of view.
Good, my work is done.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I was caught up in the excitement of the moment. It felt like I was like, finally something's happening.
Yeah, there was that. We would have missed the big burning the dudes alive at the very end.
And I also just like the idea of, in this episode focusing on the women took care of business.
They took care of business.
There's something about that was appealing.
All right, what's your number?
But I
3?
see your point for sure. I think probably in the real world, you'd probably be more right. I'd want to side with you more.
Okay. I just want to keep her safe because I like Maggie.
Yeah, well, maybe one reason why Maggie is getting more vicious now is because she has another little thing to protect.
Oh yeah, she's getting all, Mama Tiger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My number 3 is sort of trying to figure out when Carol was pretending and when she was being real. And I think there was definitely both.
Yes.
And I don't think it's really possible to know exactly what was fake and what was real. But I suspect that, well, first I thought it was really interesting that I think it was Michelle called Rick a smug prick. And he must think we're stupid. And Paula said, that's a good thing. So she just said right there, oh, yeah, it's better when your enemy thinks you're stupid. And then she went and fell for Carol faking. I mean, because Carol was faking it to a degree.
Yes.
Even at the end, when Paula figured it out and she said, oh, this is how you really are. Well, if you really can do all this stuff, then why are you so afraid? And Carol's like, well, because I'm afraid that this was going to happen, that she would have to kill. Yep. So that points to the fact that some of that fear was real. She was genuinely moved by the thought of having to kill more.
Having to off them. Yep.
So the hyperventilating, I think, was completely fake.
Do you?
Yeah.
You think that was just to get the gag out of the mouth?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
effective.
I think... And she grabbed that rosary from the zombie that they were dragging by.
Yes, she did.
So I suspect that, I mean, maybe not, but I suspect the whole thing about her faith getting her through the death of her daughter was
just a ruse.
Yeah, and that she just wanted that thing to help cut her hands free. And the smoking, I wondered about. Paula pointed that out to be a weakness in character, that she would betray her own integrity just because things weren't going right or whatever it was. But then she uses it to light the dude on fire later.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, I guess the point is that there was just some stuff that was real and some stuff that wasn't. And when she's clutching that sharpened cross at the end and starts bleeding, that was, sort of... That was kind of a really edgy irony.
Yes.
And kind of badass in a way. But it made me wonder if maybe she will start to get some faith now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think her arc has her coming a little bit around and back to trying to keep the last little dregs of her humanity. Although she regrets not having killed Donnie flat out in the first place. So
right.
Yeah, maybe she's like, okay, I'm ready to let go of everything.
What do you mean?
I'm willing to, keep going down this path and become full on Paula.
Yeah, we don't really know right now. We don't know. But she's less Paula than she used to be right now. I think that.
Yes.
It seems like it was easier for her when she first started turning this way.
Right.
I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like.
Remember, Karen and David were just sick. They weren't.
Yeah.
And they were in quarantine.
They were quarantined.
Yeah, that was brutal.
That was. I wondered why Carol said, "It doesn't matter what happens to me, just don't hurt Maggie, don't hurt the baby." I guess, was that just a genuine appeal to their better natures?
Yes.
Because otherwise, why reveal that kind of a vulnerability? I think it was a weakness in the storytelling, just to get it out that Maggie was pregnant so that she could have that interaction with Michelle.
You think so? Because I think strategically it was brilliant because it makes them sympathetic. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I guess it worked, but it was a risk because these people didn't seem like very sympathetic people.
Yeah, but it worked because
they're women.
Because they're women, and also, what's her name? Michelle. She had a baby, or she was pregnant at some point, and she sympathized. You could tell.
It works, but I think it was a risk. If they were really, really psychotic, you could say that and they'd be like, oh, and just go over and stab her or something.
Right, exactly. Oh, that'd be brutal.
I know. And then one last thing. When Carol gets kind of whiny during this one part, and I think it was completely faked, she totally sounded like the old real whiny Carol that you used to hate and wish was dead.
Yeah.
Here I have.
Wish she was
yeah, you
dead.
did. I can play that clip too. But here's Carol. Take a listen.
Your people ambushed my people on the road. Tried to take everything we had.
She used to talk like that for real.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was annoying.
Yeah, see? You're like, I do want her dead.
She's changed.
Horrible. Yeah, she's changed a lot. Okay, your turn. Number 2.
My number 2 was actually the supporting cast of women, and we kind of already went down that road. I just would like to one last time give a shout out for Alicia Witt, who I first saw, I think it was The Sopranos is where I first saw her, but I think there was another show that she was in where I really
guest starring roles, I think.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a little tidbit from The Talking Dead. She said that her favorite segment was actually cut out of the final version, and it had her going up to Carol at one point and saying to Carol, in another world we would have been friends and I would have sent you funny cat pictures. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
And Carol, and she said, you used to be this, like, mousy, or what did she say? You're good, nervous little bird. You were her, but not now, right? Me too. So
yep.
They were the same, and now they're harder. Carol says, I told you to run. Paula says, if you could do all this, what were you so afraid of, Carol? I was afraid of this.
Yep.
So my number 2 is something we've pretty much talked out. I think Carol's losing her nerve to kill.
Yep.
Maggie's the one who wants them to finish the job. Carol just wants to leave.
Yep.
Carol looked really stunned and affected when Rick killed that guy at the end that said he was Negan.
Yes.
That's when she was clutching her rosary, and she, like you said, she mentioned she's killed, I think I've killed 18 people, maybe 20 to Maggie, and I should have killed Donnie too. she's really, it's harder for her now. It's harder, and she's struggling with it. That's all.
Yep, that is exactly right.
Number 1. All
right, my number 1. Actually, my number 1 was who are they, good guys or are they bad guys? We've already kind of gone over that. So my real number 1 is the mystery still persists of what or who is Negan. Mm-hmm. And I know that So I've heard that AMC has cast the role of Negan. We've talked about that.
That's
so,
just something I made up to make you think that it was one guy.
that it's a dude.
Pretty
but
good trick, huh?
in fact, they're all Negan, and it's an idea, not just a person, or not even a person. It's just an idea. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to say a little spoiler, and you should just close your ears for like 5 seconds if you don't want to hear it. Not you, Karen. Not you.
All right, listening.
Okay, right, here it is. People who don't want to hear, start closing your ears right now. But that didn't happen in the comic book at all.
Really?
The whole thing about we are all Negan. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
What is going on? That's interesting.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Okay, well, my number one has to do with that too. As I just said, what's the situation? And I was trying to figure out what was going on. Like, first off, Rick offers to Paula to make a trade, and then Paula nods at Michelle, which the nodding apparently means let's kidnap these two, because that's what happens next.
Yes.
And then Paula says at one point a scout crew is coming and they're 30 minutes out. So it sounds like they're waiting for these guys that came in the end, to take them away, I guess, right?
Right.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
And then they say, let's leave. I think they said leave the girl. We need to travel light. So that meant they were just going to leave Maggie there. I think. And maybe that meant they would kill her first or not. I just don't know, I don't know. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Maybe they went to the safe house because it was an emergency and they were keeping them there as insurance until they could get away. Was that it?
Yeah. Weird. No, right. Now that you mentioned that, I don't know.
I'm not sure. And then Paula said over the radio, Omega, saviors down, go to gamma code fire. So there's some protocol to go to the safe house apparently. And she said, we're headed to the break point. Switch to Theta channel, same code. So it was all in code that I don't understand.
And it makes me think that they're really freaking organized.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
Have resources. Mm-hmm. They're very organized.
And if somebody's 30 minutes away, that means they have people farther away.
They're scary. In fact, yeah, all of that made me go, the whole thing on the radio made me think, oh no, they've been at this a lot longer than our little clan, and they're really good at what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, how did our little group of scrappy survivors kill these people? Because they're fairly organized, but maybe they've never met a group of scrappy survivors as scrappy as ours and as brutal.
Mm-hmm. And then Paula decides to make a trade. Okay, she just out of the blue calls up Rick. All right, we'll do the trade. It's in this field. I'm guessing the reason she did that was she said it was 2 miles down the road with open visibility.
Yes.
But really it was just to try and get them 2 miles away, right?
Oh.
I
didn't
guess.
Catch that. Clever.
I mean, I just thought of that. I didn't really understand why she did that. But because then right after that, she's like, you know what? I don't think they really do want to make a trade because there was no static, which means they're close by. So it seemed like she just changed her mind right then.
Yes.
But maybe on the other hand, it was her plan to hopefully get them to go away. But I don't know. But I don't know if she actually intended on making a trade if the conditions were right or not. I don't think so. But
they were never going to make a trade.
Yeah, probably not. And then, the whole thing about, sweetie, we are all Negan. And then the other guy says he is Negan. So that's weird. Like,
yes,
it's like the Borg.
It's genuine. Yes, it is genuinely odd. Right. Or, yeah. In Guardians of the Galaxy, we are Groot.
And, also a couple other little things we learn is Michelle says at one point, the way you stay alive is you produce for us. So maybe that hints that there was a scenario there where Maggie and Carol could have stayed alive if they had just decided to be helpful.
And productive.
Yeah, and I think what she wanted was to know where our group is, Alexandria.
Right. Exactly. So, and that was never, ever going to be spilled.
No way.
Yeah. She kept saying, you guys are going to die. You're going to die. Okay, now tell me where your
group is. We're just going to go and mingle.
Right.
And then the other little thing, well, maybe not so little in one way, little and not so little in another way, is Michelle got her finger cut off for stealing gas to pour on her boyfriend, I guess. Yeah. So that's pretty severe. Like it sounds like this society has some rules, produce for us, you can stay alive. You steal from us, you get your finger cut off. And by the way, all of you are Negan. So that's what we know.
That is what we know. It sounds like a really fun place that you'd want to party at. And we know something else. Do you remember in the burned out forest when Daryl met those people and they said something like, we didn't want to kneel before Negan?
Oh, yeah.
So apparently you have to kneel.
Before each other.
Yes, because we're all Negan.
Yep. So we have 3 more episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
It would be good. If I could watch them all in a row, I would.
Yes, but I don't think we get screeners anymore.
No, we got one time.
Right.
But it was an awesome one.
It was.
The whole Terminus Trough thing.
It was great.
That was mind blowing. So I did a Gotham panel at Heroes and Villains Fan Fest, and Robin Lord Taylor, who plays the Penguin, was on there. He also plays Sam, the guy who got his cut throat, the first guy who got his throat cut. You remember that guy?
No. Oh yes, of course I do. Yes.
Yeah,
he was kind of.
Yeah, he plays the Penguin on Gotham, and
no
he's
kidding.
Very expressive and insane, and
awesome.
In command, but erratic. And in Walking Dead, he's just this kind of mousy little guy. So it's really interesting. But I was going to ask him about that scene, but I didn't want to do it at Heroes and Villains because the tone wasn't right for that.
Yeah.
And also a lot of people might not have seen it, but I'm hoping to talk to him at a Walker Stalker.
Yes. Everybody at a Walker Stalker will have seen that scene.
Yeah. All right. Notes.
Well, I thought that it was funny. I heard them called growlers. I heard our walkers called growlers. And then I also heard them called, I think they call them cold bloods or something. Growlers.
That's good. I like that. Cold bloods.
To me, a
growler is a big jar of beer.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a dumb name for a zombie.
They growl.
I've said it. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe there was a bunch of beer around there.
I just like them to be called zombies for once.
About.
How about find a group who calls them zombies?
That's not a word that you would just make up. How about if they call them Zembies?
or Zeds. Just call them Zeds.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'll be a wink to us.
All right. That's it?
That's it.
Okay, my turn. I think a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I don't know for sure if I really like